Hey everybody, welcome to American Courts. I figured I'd answer Linus and Gina all at the same time. I had Linus asking me about it too, so we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Let's go. Hey Linus.
Hello. What's up?
Hopefully we got sound. I didn't have my sound thing up, so let me see. Yep, looks like we got sound. How are you doing today?
Doing good, doing good. How about yourself?
Looks like you got a Christmas tree up.
I do. I can barely see it on screen now, but yeah, I do.
No, we got it closed in there. Hey everybody, I'm really good at if it's not broke, go ahead and break it. And so I like to mess up things that are working just fine. So I'm going to continue playing around with the format on this thing until it works out for me. So we're going to jump in on some court. Let's see. Yep, I've got some working to do. We're going to jump into court. Some of these are some old videos. I jumped into some old Judge Hagan because you guys seem to like that. And so we're going to see how it goes. And we're going to jump in there.
All right, 23 DCCR 0319 on Lupe Gomez. I've got Mr. Nichols here for the state. Mr. Radford is here. Sir, you Lupe Gomez.
I'm sorry?
Is your name Lupe Gomez?
I'm the non-corporate
What?
third-party intervener, cross-plaintiff, superior lien holder, to appear by special restricted visitation and not by general appearance.
Can you do this? Can you come around and have them so I can see better?
You want us off the bench, y'all?
Yeah, y'all can all come up here. Okay.
So I have a couple questions.
No, well, hold on. You don't get to ask questions. I'm going to ask the questions. Mr. Gomez.
Can happen until all parties are identified into the record.
All right. So, Mr. Tell me again who you are. Who are you saying
I'm
you
a
are?
non-corporate third-party intervener, here by special restricted visitation and not by general appearance, under duress by the means of threat, coercion, and kidnapping.
Okay. Have you ever been known by the name of, in the past, Lupe Gomez?
Will you state your name for the record, please? And will you order the prosecutor to state his name for the record? And do either one of you have a claim against me?
We do have a claim against you. My name is Raquel West. I'm the judge of the 252nd District Court. This is Mr. Luke Nichols. He's one of the assistant district attorneys in my court. Mr. Radford is here representing you.
Okay.
There's an indictment. There's a motion to quash. Mr. Radford has filed that we're here for today. I'm going to take judicial notice of the court's file, which includes numerous documents, including a indictment, the probable cause affidavit, other identifying information that does identify you as Mr. Lupe Gomez. And I'm going to make the finding at this time that you are, for purposes of this hearing, Lupe Florencio Gomez. And we're going to go forward with the motion to quash. Mr.
What's a motion to suppress?
Motion to suppress. I'm sorry. Let me get that pulled up. I have a motion to quash as well, correct?
Yeah, you do.
Hold on.
I think that's a pro se motion.
Okay, so we're here on Mr. Radford's motion to suppress. Let me find that one. It's okay. I'm looking.
Well, while you're doing that,
Nope, stop talking. Stop talking.
Your foreign agents and registration statement.
My what?
Are you refusing to do so?
I am.
Okay.
Here we go. All right, so Mr. Radford filed, it's entitled Motion to Quash and or Suppress Evidence.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I was confused because it just showed the first part. And 23 DCCR 0319, this was filed April 29th of 2024. And Mr. Nichols, you may call your first witness with regard to the suppression.
State Calls Officer Chad Morrison.
Would you please call the name?
Officer Chad Morrison. No response, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Nichols.
Your Honor, I have no other witnesses in this time for this hearing. The state rests. May I make a statement on the record?
Yes, you may.
Your Honor, I was in contact with Officer Morrison last week. He is formerly of Port Arthur Police Department. He now is with a different agency in the greater Houston area. He indicated he is on injury leave at the moment and would not be appearing for this hearing. He was also on injury leave and was unable to appear last time we were set for this hearing, approximately 2 months ago, maybe in May. At this point, the state has no other option but to rest in this hearing and present no other evidence.
All right. Anything, Mr. Radford?
No, ma'am.
Well, based on that, then unfortunately, I have no choice at this point, which is unfortunate that the officer won't comply with showing up, but I'm going to grant the motion to suppress evidence in the case based on the fact that there's no evidence today presented. Is there anything else, Mr. Radford?
I would ask that the court dismiss the case, but I think Mr. Nichols is already preparing that.
I'll tender dismissal of the court, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gomez, I have granted Mr. Radford's motion to suppress because the officer didn't show up. What that means is there's obviously no evidence that would be able to be presented in your case. Mr. Nichols, it looks like, is going to present a dismissal based on the fact that there won't be any evidence, and I'm going to sign that. Your case will be dismissed.
Hey, did he just win on accident?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to they're going to dismiss the case because the officer didn't show up.
I mean, good for him, I guess, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
It sucks, but yeah.
Yep. So, ATX, this is live. We do it live every day at 3 p.m. except for the days that we don't. And so make sure to always tune in unless we're not here. And then you can still hang out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can go back with the
One more
bailiff.
question. The bond money, being that the case has been dismissed, the bond money was to be returned.
Did you pay a cash
I
bond?
paid cash, $5,000.
But you're back in custody.
You're right. But I still pay. The case is this.
Yeah, that you can take that up with the district clerk once you're released. All right.
Maybe excused.
Yes, if you'll please get me an order, I'm going to make a notation on this, but if you'll send an order.
I'll try to e-file one this afternoon.
All right, thank you. Mr. O'Cleese, when did you smoke pot? Why would you do that when you know you're coming to court for a second-degree felony offense? It's common sense that you're on bond for a felony and you're coming to felony court. No one should have to tell you to follow the law, right? I'm going to raise your bond it is a bond condition that you follow the law. So when you made bond, part of your conditions was that you follow the law. You haven't followed the law. I'm going to raise your bond in your case. What was the bond that you made? Let's see if I can figure that out. How old are you?
27.
Yeah.
I never made any mistakes since I quit this. I paid all the time, came to court on time.
Are you working?
I'm just lost my job recently for transportation. What I'm saying, I have a newborn, man. My daughter's 3 months. I'm trying my best.
You're trying how are you hold on. What are you doing to help your child that's 3 months old by smoking marijuana? Because if you go try to get a job and you test positive, you can't get a job. How's that going to help your daughter? So you are making mistakes. You're making ridiculous choices. You can go to prison in your case. Don't talk over me. You can go to prison for up to 20 years in this case. And to take a chance while you're out on bond, when you should be trying to get a job and instead you're out smoking pot, you're not taking care of your daughter. Am I correct?
Judge, if I may, in the past, the court would consider amending his bond conditions for a drug patch in the situation in lieu of raising his bond and putting him back in custody.
Sure.
I'm 27. I've never had any drug charges, anything like that. I'm gonna be honest. I know I shouldn't have been smoking, but in my head, I'm saying, oh.
I got to stop there real quick. I thought Nan misspelled a word.
Yeah.
But
me
she
too.
actually meant that he had a lot of luck.
A lot of luck. Yeah, I thought she said something different there too. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Bracken, there's some people's wrenches that can put me in timeout, I think, but I don't think yours does. I don't know. You should try it though. It's good to try.
Absolutely.
And then Gina says, even though I'm a jerk. Oh, well.
Well, it is what it
I'm
is.
not going for a drug charge. I don't have prior drug charge. I didn't know it was a possibility that I would get checked. It's not a problem for me to cut smoke. It's not. I cut hair, I tattoo. The bond's been paid on time. I come with it. I'm not a bad person.
Okay.
I just thought, okay, you're not.
Here's the thing. If you can take care of all those things, then you can also hire a lawyer.
I'm just stopped working. I cut hair and tattoo. On the side. I just stopped working. Just stopped. Let's say my daughter's 3 months. I was working exactly. Certified surveyor.
So, but there's other companies out there that you could be looking to get a job, and they're not going to take you if you're testing positive. So I'm not saying you're a bad person. Most of the people here that are in front of me aren't bad people. They're people who are making very bad choices, which is what you've done, right? Probably on more than one occasion. So if you don't have a problem doing that, I mean, we've got a couple of things going on here. Number one, if you were working for Zachary, I'm not real sure why I appointed you an attorney back when. Okay. So you should already, if you have all those certifications, there are other companies out there. You don't have criminal history right now. You should be able to get a job. He is already a felon.
Robbery. I'd like to point out to the court, when he was on probation for that robbery, one of the allegations on his motion to revoke, for which he was revoked and given 10 years, was 2 positive samples, one for tetrahydrocannabinol and all the other for barbiturates. So he at least has some problems with drugs.
July 16. I ain't quite no cases as an adult.
Well, you just said you never had any drug problems.
I never. Just as you said, I feel it.
9 years ago, but
I was a baby. I don't remember.
And you've been in
Okay,
prison
but now you're not a baby and you're still making the same bad decisions. So listen, here's what we're going to do. If you want to really do what you say you can do, then you're going to get out there and you're going to get busy and you're going to do it. Otherwise, you're going to be in jail. Couple things. Your bond conditions are modified to order that you have a drug patch. You get that drug patch within 24 hours. The initial drug patch obviously is going to test positive, but it shows me quantities, not just that it is, but it's going to qualify it on how much is in your system. Every drug patch, you get it changed every 2 weeks. If you miss one, if you test positive, obviously, then you're going to have a warrant for your arrest and you're going to go back to jail. Do you understand? If that amount is not going down, you will be back in custody. In addition, you will go find a job. You will prove to me that you are doing that. You need to apply for at least 3 jobs a week. You need to be applying for 20 jobs a week. If you really want to take care of yourself and your child, then you should be out there hitting the pavement every single day, finding a job. Clean up, test negative, go get a job if you have these certifications. Prove that you're not still 16 and making those stupid decisions. All right? I'm going to reset your case. You need to stay in touch with Mr. Lewis. I want proof by tomorrow that you have the drug patch. Mr. Lewis, your bondsman can let you know where you can go get that on.
So call the bondsman today when I leave here.
As soon as you leave here, call the bondsman. Actually, before you leave, the probation officer has a list of places that has it. She's going to give it to you right there at that desk. She'll give you a list. You need to go get that on. You need to get a job, start making some money, and potentially be hiring your own attorney. Right now, Mr. Lewis is going to remain your attorney, but I want you to be working on all of those things. Take care of your business. All right?
Thank you so much.
All right. This is your only chance on this kind of stuff. Okay. You're free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
There's nothing worse than mama judge telling you you're acting like a child.
Oh yeah, and she's good at it, you know. I would listen to her. I mean, she's so stern, yet I don't know, she's just right on the money, you know.
So you got a 40-year-old man telling the judge how good of a job he has, and then she goes, well, hold on a second, why did I appoint you a lawyer? And he's like, never mind, it's a bad job. I don't make any money.
It's gonna change that fast, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, look, lawyers are expensive. You know, if you got to suck up a little bit of pride and tell them just talk about poverty for an hour, you got to do what you got to do to get that free lawyer.
And it's common for people to, you know, hype up their job like a little bit, you know, make it like seem more important than it really is. But, you know, it works out in your favor to just be honest and tell them like, you know, I'm not that successful.
Absolutely. So we got We got Judge Hagan yelling, but I want to talk about tonight. We're going to do Court Addict with ATX Alley. We're going to do it over on American Courts 2. I'll put out the link in a little bit on Discord. If you don't have Discord, go ahead and get Discord. Get on there. If you don't want to get on American Courts, if it's too confusing, just get on Court Vibes. Everybody seems to go there, and it just seems to be a good hub for everyone. And there you get the alerts for Kathy's shows, because I don't get any Court Vibes alerts. And
Really?
this morning, me and Fozzie were talking, and I didn't get a single alert, and then they were on for 20 minutes by the time I finally got it. And by then, I've already distracted and not gone on to the next thing in my life.
Did you turn it off or something?
I may have. I do stuff in my sleep, so who knows what I did.
You never know.
Well, let's go back to our Wisconsin judge. Y'all liked her the other night, so I got a couple more of her in there. So let's go there.
All right, 23 DCCR 0319 on Lupe Gomez. I've got Mr. Nichols here for the state. Mr. Radford is here. Sir, you.
Okay, I was about to say, that looks like the same guy that was just fussing a minute ago. It was.
Yeah, it does.
It was, because it was the
does.
same judge there. So you give me 1 second. I got this figured out. All right. Oh, heck, let's just go to Judge Fleischer. I can figure it out while we're...
Zion Aviola. Mr.
There you
Aviola,
go.
you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with evading arrest.
You remember this one, right?
You're also charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon.
do.
In both of those
I do
cases, you're
remember
facing
this
up to a year in jail and or a
Yeah.
$4,000 fine. We're going to
least
do
I remember
probable
the
cause. You
guy.
have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Judge, on May 30th, 2024, officers observed 2 black males walking out of Bedford Place Homeowner Association Park, which is closed after sunset. Officers made contact with the defendant and another male who advised they did not know the park was closed. Defendant kept reaching near his waistband and pocket. Officers attempted to conduct a Terry frisk on the defendant, resulting in the defendant running. Foot pursuit lasted approximately 25 to 30 yards. While running, a black handgun fell from the defendant's waist area. Defendant stated the gun belonged to his mother. Officers recovered a Glock 23, loaded with 1 bullet in the chamber and 7 in the magazine. 15 additional bullets were found inside defendant's book bag, and an extra magazine containing 18 bullets, a total of 41 bullets. Defendant's father arrived on scene and stated the defendant's mother is the one who purchased the weapon for the defendant. Defendant is 19 years of age. He has 2023 unlawful carry of a weapon non-suit as a juvenile, no out-of-county criminal record.
Here's the rub. What's he doing? Walking while black? What's he doing? What's he doing wrong? Was he under arrest? I mean, all I see is that they go up to him and they just start searching, right?
I believe.
Walking while black.
So what would you think if you were that defendant and the judge said that?
I mean, I think it would be maybe a little comforting even. I think it would be, in a sense, maybe relief, but I don't know. I can't speak for him, you know?
Yeah,
I think it's nice to be heard in a way, but yeah, I don't know.
I think it would be terrifying. I think it'd be terrifying because, whenever you go to court, you think of how it's going to go, and it can go 1 or 2 or 3 different ways. And Judge Fleischer pulls out, way number 70 that it can go. There's no way in the world he thought that the judge was going to call that one out. And I have to admit, I that was the last thing I thought the judge would say. In the end, police stop people that just look suspicious. Police stop people that they just want to question. And I don't ever think much of it. But the law is the law, and you got to have a reason.
I mean, the first time I heard it, it was like, oh, is that even, you can do that, But after thinking about it and hearing it more often, because he says it more often, this is not the first time he said it, or not the only time he said it.
Right.
So,
Right. No, absolutely. And in the end, if the police want to pull you over, they should at least have the writing skills to be able to explain why they pulled you over. They should be able to explain why they did what they did. But Junebug was asking about if Texas is an open carry, how do they get charged? If you're a non-allowed person, if you're a convicted felon, or if you're someone who's not supposed to have it. I actually don't know what the law in Texas is. I know in Florida, if you're not a convicted felon and you can't have drugs on you, and if you can't be intoxicated, if you come out of a bar and you have a firearm, you can get in trouble there. But
Sure.
They sure have a lot of cases with it there. They sure do have a lot of them. But some of the multipliers is if you're doing something else that's wrong. And here's where Judge Fleischer is saying you didn't prove that, or you didn't even accuse anything else of being wrong. You just stopped them and come up with that. So let's go into here. But I guarantee you, this guy went home. With a lot lighter feeling on his shoulders.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Mr. Abiola, I'd be very careful. Where you go, what you do may not end up well for you. I'm going to find no probable cause on this case now. Mr. Abiola, be careful. Just take a seat for me in the back, please. Don't leave. I found no probable cause. Guys, keep it down, please. I found no probable cause. Your cases have been dismissed. The only thing I'm going to counsel you is to be careful. Don't go to parks after hours. Otherwise, they're just going to harass you. You understand? Okay. Good luck, man. You're free to go.
Garcia? Hi, I'm more important than this one.
What?
Oh, it's not high on your plea. I would never mind.
No one.
Do the joke.
No one's more important than Laura.
Oh, I know.
He'll be asking me for help soon, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Did you say Gutierrez?
No, Garcia. I'm sorry.
Garcia. Jorge Luis Garcia. Mr. Garcia, you're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. What have you guys worked out?
32.
Say it again?
32 days.
32 days in jail with credit for the 32 days that you've already done. You have a prior theft from 2010. This here makes 2. What happens on the next one? You're smiling like you're having a good time, little bunnies jumping in the woods. This is not a happy moment for you, Mr. Garcia, because you have a lot to lose. Have you been to the pen before?
Sir.
Yeah. So what that means is that they can continually enhance you, perhaps to even a 5 to life if you steal a pack of freaking gum. Your attitude tells me a lot. It tells me how much you think of this. But, it's all fun and games until someone gets a 15-year sentence. And that's the problem. When people look you up, you think they're going to give you any leeway? No. You're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You've worked out an agreement where they're offering you 32 days in jail with credit for the 32 days that you've done. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. Like I said, this now makes 2. If you pick up any more theft cases, you'll be charged with a felony offense. And then if you have any other state jails, any other 3rd degrees, they'll just keep enhancing you until the day is long. How do you plead to the offense, sir? Guilty or not guilty? I will find you guilty, sentence you to the agreement. I will roll your court costs, and good luck to you, sir. Thanks. Thank you, Lord.
He missed his court date on Friday.
Oh, Mr. Stewart.
We would have come on Monday, but my wife gave birth Monday, so we're here now.
Mr. Mercer, I absolutely love you. I truly do. And, congrats on the baby. But, I don't care if you have Jesus here, Mr. Stewart. Don't matter who you have here. You've picked up case after case after case. And now you continually miss court as well? I don't think so. The time has come for you to stay with me. It goes with you. Don't think so. Please.
That's a notice I see from the
So
robbery.
both thefts here, one theft is being dismissed, the other failure to ID is being dismissed, and she's pleading to one theft.
Correct.
Heck of a deal, Ms. Harris. That is a screaming deal. I really, truly hope you appreciate this because, you know, you pick up any more criminal cases, they're going to look at this. Do you think that they're going to bend over backwards to help you in the future? No. You know, at some point, the DAs, they're like, you know what? She's just not getting it. She's a public menace and we're just going to throw the book. It's only a matter of time. Not only that, with your history, you know, what are you, 24?
20.
You're too young. 20?
Yes, yeah. So I told her, you do something else, so if she steals something else, I'm gonna kill her. That's what I told her. Not literally.
It's not a funny thing. I'm telling you now. I mean, having this robbery, people will look you up when you're trying to get a job, you're trying to get a school, you want to get loans, you want to buy a car. When they see this, they're going to scrutinize you like crazy. And they're going to say, well, why on earth are we going to help this person when we know that she could potentially steal from us? You're 20 and you're repeatedly shooting yourself in the foot. Where do you go to school? Do you go to school? What do you do in life?
I graduated, but I was working at the hospital.
What happened here with the robbery?
Yeah, it was a robbery. We wouldn't even tell. What happened was a girl was stealing something out of the store. Not her. She thought, the woman thought my client was stole something. She never even went to the store. She busted my client's window with a shovel, the woman that worked in the store in the front window. And then once she did it to my client, it's all on videotape. My client got out and had started a fight with her. So it was never no robbery at all.
Was this one of those Bed Bath & Beyond or Bath & Body Works cases? Where was it?
Dollar General.
At a Dollar General?
Yes.
Really? You're going to pick up a robbery at a Dollar General? Come on, man. Really? You know what? Life is so short. I mean, this life can either be great or it can be completely miserable. And the more cases you pick up, you will never get a job. And let me tell you, this life sucks without money, without a car. It really blows if you ain't got some kind of resources. Straighten up, high right, because you're only going to get so many chances, Ms. Harris. So now you're only going to end up with the step, which is, I mean, it's just a sweetheart deal. I truly hope you appreciate it. If I see you back here, I'm telling you, I'm going to bring the pain. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences.
That's what I love about this chat. If we were over in Fleischer's chat, you know, right now he'd be all hands on deck trying to handle. You know, he said something that was catchy, so now everybody wants to get their 2 seconds in.
Yep.
So
it's kind of relaxing to not have to, you know.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you guys for coming out to do this show. On the weekends, I try to throw a little bit extra to Judge Fleischer. I tried it during the week one time, and somebody almost set my house on fire. So they said, nope, it's going to be after the Fleischer show, and we're going to do that show. So, but on the weekends, we get to sneak away and do a little bit extra.
Once you can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization, you give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this agreement, you can never change this. Ms. Harris, from now on, you will be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail if you ever pick up another case. No matter what it is. You also must understand this theft is an enhanceable offense. If you pick up more, you pick up a third one, you're looking at felony charges, years instead of days. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I will find you guilty. I will follow the agreement. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Thank you. All right.
I just had a brief question, Judge.
Shoot.
So I was on scrolling YouTube the other day.
That's not.
Okay. I just didn't know if you were aware that that was existing. All right. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, so thank you so much, Idaho. This is the weirdest thing to say. This is the oddest thing to say. I truly appreciate the gifting memberships and all that on this channel. Y'all give it a little bit of time. I'm working with YouTube to get rid of that top tier because I don't want anyone to have to pay $5. So I'm trying to get rid of that top tier, and the only way they'll let me do it is to wait until there's nobody on that top tier, and then once nobody's on the top tier, then I can delete the tier.
Wait, so how does that work? When is everybody going to be off of the top tier?
Well, Wiggles just bought another one, so
So it's
So-
never going to happen.
I don't know. I'm working with you too. We're trying to figure it out. But thank you so much, Idaho Wiggles. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for what y'all do and how supportive y'all been to this show. Thank you to the moderators for putting up with me. Thank you for them for putting in the work on it too. We're doing 2 shows a day right now. That's 4 hours a day, and that's a lot of effort. And then you look at the other mods that are doing Judge Fleischer's Court, and Judge Fleischer's Court ranges for at a minimum it's 5 or 6 hours a day. And so some of these folks are putting in, overtime hours every day on these shows. So make sure to give them some love and thank them for what they're doing. I think we found the judge yelling at him. So hold on a second. It's
Mr. McVeigh, what do you want me to know?
Yep, this was it.
What do you want to tell me?
Nice.
What the heck were you thinking is what I want to know. That's what I want to know. What were you thinking?
I wasn't in my right mind. I wasn't thinking. I made terrible choice and I regret it terribly. And I remember being in here talking to you before, and that's extremely embarrassing. And I'm really sorry.
This is going to carry you. It's going to follow you around. Now, you have a felony now, Mr. McVeigh. What were you thinking?
I wasn't thinking about what could happen. I wasn't.
In how this played out, in how there was the accusation by, of all people, Mr. Hooverson, do you think he's credible? Do you think he is credible where anyone would believe that you hit him with your ATV?
I don't know. I got scared.
And you weren't using that very smart brain in your head, Mr. McVeigh. And now you are a convicted felon when Mr. Hooverson is now scot-free. When
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
you shouldn't apologize to me. You need to apologize to yourself. I mean, you're going to be harder on yourself right now, but you need to apologize to each and every one of these officers because your behavior that day was despicable, disrespectful. It was so.
They didn't deserve.
They did not deserve it. And what do you think that you could do if you were arrested? You think that you could really get away?
I didn't. I wasn't thinking. I was being stupid.
You are such a nice young man. Quite honestly, I expect more from you. Where is the young man who said, I can't remember where you said, Montana? That you were going to go and you wanted to do something else and you have a desire. I know you said that you had a desire to cook and to do something great. Why the heck are you still hanging around here? Don't hang around your mom. Leave her alone. All right? Your mom can take care of herself. Because now, unfortunately, like Mr. Keene said, you are at the age that you can't get this expunged unless the legislature changes the law, which unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. I think they should with certain things, like sometimes people are dumb. Sometimes young men's brains don't form until they are, I mean, they say 25. I'm going to tell you, I don't believe that for a minute. And what the heck is this allegations of THC? Not legal here in any way, shape, or form. So, Mr. McVeigh, I don't think I need to tell you. I think no matter what I say, you're going to be harder on yourself. Now, I want to hear what you think you should tell all of the officers, because I think this involved 4 officers.
Yes, there's a number of officers, and Gavin Anton was the one that got struck in the face.
Yeah, so
Gavin really deserves an apology.
There was Bridget Getz, Anthony Olson, Tanner Pardoon, Austin Spafford, Gavin Anton.
so there's, did I count? Was that 6 or 5?
5.
5.
They're actually really nice people. And if it was any other, if I hadn't have been in the mindset I was in, that never would have. I owe them a deep apology because they didn't deserve any of that. And
They don't
I
put on the
shouldn't- I should have
uniform
never-
so they can get harassed and beat up and put their lives on the line.
They were just trying to help. And I panicked and I got scared.
So now I'm in the spot where I have to say, okay, what's the punishment for Mr. McVeigh? Because this is serious. And I don't think anyone in this room doesn't think that this is serious. You know that this is serious.
I know.
This is you could go to prison today serious. Now, if you had an extensive criminal history and you had other felonies on your criminal record, most likely you'd be going to prison today. But lucky for you, you're a good kid who did something really stupid, who wasn't thinking, who for whatever reason thought people would believe something Christopher Hooverson said, that you hit him with your ATV.
Our neighbor, he was our neighbor.
All right. So you have a lot of making up to do, Mr. McVeigh. A lot of making up to do. And now it's gonna be a while before you can get back on track, which is unfortunate.
I just want to do whatever I can to make it right.
The thing is I don't think you're a risk to the community. I just think you were just being very stupid that day. And stupid is just the only word that I can think of. You just were not thinking. And as Mr. Renicky said, it's not the alcohol. You were not belligerently drunk.
It's just being stupid.
And I can't say that you were high. I can't, because I don't have any other lab results, anything to say that you were, and there's THC here. I can't say that there's anything that sent you in some psychosis. So I do think probation is appropriate because you have some amends to do. All right? You have some amends to do. I honestly don't really believe that 2 years, I think that could be a little bit too long. I don't know if you have some mental health issues to take care of.
I can make sure I'm seeing a counselor just to make sure and just cover my bases and make sure I'm staying healthy and staying clean.
You know, what I want you to do, Mr. McVeigh, is I want you to do what you told me, what was it, a year ago? I want you to get back to school. I want you to build your education. I want you to build your career. I want you to make something of yourself, because I truly think that you could be something better than this. And the great thing is that even though you are now a convicted felon, this isn't going to define you. It will not break you, or it doesn't make you. All right? It's just going to be a little hiccup in the road. You'll be able to get over that. It's going to be a little bit more work, but you can do it. All right? But you got to put in the work and you got to do it. You have to do it. I want to see you do that. 1 year of probation. If you're revoked, this is serious. I think a year seems like a lot, but this is serious. You punched an officer in the face. So I agree with the 1 year of incarceration if you're revoked, because man, the officers did not deserve that treatment, that behavior at all, not one bit. And I'm not going to order it because, quite honestly, it doesn't mean anything if the court orders it. But it wouldn't be such a bad thing if you were to write from the heart some apology letters to every single one of those officers, every single one from the heart, because you want to know what they put up with a lot. One year of probation, 1 year of jail imposed and stayed. Conditions of probation. Absolute sobriety. No alcohol. No bars. No taverns. No casinos. Unless you work at one. And only for work purposes. No use or possession of illegal drugs, substances, or paraphernalia. Wisconsin is zero tolerance state. No medical marijuana. So you want to use it, you got to go somewhere else. I'm also going to order gainful employment. I'm going to order you look into some type of higher education, certificate service, technical college, some kind of something that to increase your learning, your skills, your profession, whatever it is that you want to do to enhance your life, because you're better than that. Don't get stuck, Mr. McVeigh.
So this one's still got 2 minutes left. You think he's gonna be good?
I don't know, man. He sounds remorseful in a way, but I don't think he has any control of himself. Like, I don't know, unless he gets some real help, like professional help, I don't think he's gonna do any better. I don't think so. I don't know for sure, but
Right. And
I
she's
hope
not.
he proves me wrong.
Yeah, and she's not making it mandatory either, because he said he'd get it. It sounded like he just got drunk, riding around on the four-wheeler, got drunk, got into a scuffle with a police officer, hit the police officer, and ends up here. But the problem is he's been here before. So, but
It's like, it's good people and this and that, but you still did it. Like, I mean, the judge says he wasn't very drunk, so he did it on his own volition. I mean, know.
Sometimes young people can't handle their alcohol, and he may be new at the game, so.
That's
so
true.
He just might be striking out early. But Idaho Wiggles was asking about pubs. When she said no bars, normally it's if 51% of their money comes from alcohol sales, that's the trigger for that. So and I don't, in Florida we don't have pubs. I think that's the northern thing. So I think we call them bars or home. That's where most people get drunk. So, but good morning, Throw the Goat. Rebecca got up early, so.
Good morning.
Yep, absolutely. What time is it over there? It's 12, 14 hours ahead, so it would be morning over there.
For her,
Absolutely.
I think so. Yeah.
Thank you, Fletcher boy. One day we need to hear the stories of you playing in Nashville. We need to hear some of that. Go find us in Discord. Tell us about it some. Thank you for the super chat. We're going to get back to this one. It's got 2 more minutes, and I found a Judge Hayward one. I found one for her.
Nice.
No contact with Christopher Hooverson. I'm ordering your DNA. You have to provide that to the jail. Go to probation. I'm going to give you until 4 p.m. tomorrow because I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get there before close today. You have 20 days to appeal. Should you fail to appeal within 20 days, you lose that right. $1,087.50 for the OWI, plus a $10 blood draw fee, $402.50 for the felony. I'll waive all other costs and fees because you have $1,500 posted. It covers everything. I'm waiving the rest of the costs and fees. So at least you have me off your back. And now you just have to deal with probation.
Thank you, Your Honor. I couldn't put it into words how much I appreciate you and just what you say, because it means a lot.
I yell at you mostly.
It means a lot because you see more in me than even I do. So thank you.
Prove me right.
I think there was the 6-month driver's license revocation.
Oh, yes. 6-month driver's license revocation, 6 points off your driver's license, OWI assessment and driver safety plan. Get those done. All right. Good luck, Mr. McVeigh.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else that I'm missing?
I don't think so.
Nothing here, Your Honor.
Was there a firearm warning?
Oh, no use or possession of a firearm now for life. No voting in any election until your civil rights are restored. All right?
Raise your right hand for me, sir. Solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Mr. McDowell, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Mr. Devin Devon McDowell, 2024.
I think I'm going to have to get Rivette, the Painted Blonde, and Gina, and I think we're going to have to go to this courtroom and talk to her about her cameras. I think this one of my favorite judges, but she's got some of the worst cameras.
It's like she's filming on a potato. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I like about her is she doesn't wear the robe a lot of times, and nobody seems to notice when she doesn't wear the robe.
No.
So yeah,
no, it's not that you say it that I notice it, but I didn't notice either. But she's great. I love the way she judges.
Absolutely. Court Vibe says that kid sounds like everybody at her bar right now.
Yeah.
So.
That's unlucky guy.
Sherry, I don't know. Sherry's asking why did he have to give his DNA? It's just kind of the process. I think it's a huge invasion of privacy. I think it's a huge, odd thing for our system to do, but they also do it. They require it. So if you're a felony, they're going to put your DNA on a file. The argument is if they consider if you committed a felony, you're more likely to commit another felony, and it just makes it easier to catch you. But I don't know. I just hate knowing. We're all worried about cameras, and then they come out with iPhones, and we all stick a camera in our face all day.
Yep,
and
that's pretty much true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We adapt really fast too.
Absolutely. Brecken's talking about something. Brecken, if you got something, find me in Discord. It's distracting. I can't figure anything out what you're saying on there. says was
It's hard
good.
to do the both at once, you know.
Absolutely. I don't know that those comments get distracted. I'm going to ignore them for a while. How about this? We're going to Judge Hayward.
CR 07616 for abandonment. You're represented by the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis. Mr. Taz Taylor is with you. Mr. Taylor, what does your client plead to the offense of abandonment?
Your Honor, my client is pleading guilty at this time.
All right, factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On or about August the 7th of 2024, Ms. Withers did take out a state warrant for abandonment against the defendant. Pursuant to the warrant, the defendant willfully and voluntarily left his minor child in a dependent condition by failing to furnish sufficient food, clothing, shelter, or medical care for a period of 3 months. The affiant, Ms. Withers, is the aunt of the minor child. Your Honor, the state's recommendation at this time is 12 months to serve, 48 days, balance suspended, and under the special sentencing provision of OCGA section 19-10-1J, the sentence will be suspended until the victim turns 18. We're also asking for, pursuant to Ms. Withers, we're requesting no contact with the minor child, as well as no contact with Ms. Withers. And she is also on the line and wishes to give a victim impact statement as well.
I will say, Your Honor, that the no contact provision between Mr. McDowell and his son was not presented to the defense prior to just now. Mr. McDowell had been caring for his son. The mother of his son is in prison. So the son has been in Mr. McDowell's custody due to housing situations. Mr. McDowell recognized that he may be better off living with his aunt, who is the mother of the child's sister, and he voluntarily relinquished custody. I don't know if that's in a legal fashion or just go with his aunt. I do want the judge and the court to take this into consideration, that he has been providing for his son and been the sole support, but understanding the situation and what's best for his son and his son's education, which his aunt would be better able to provide him a stable housing location, which meant a stable school environment as well. He voluntarily did that. So we understand his aunt is concerned about monies being provided while she's taking care of the son. However, we don't feel that Mr. McDowell's done anything inappropriate that would cause no contact provision to be.
Hold on, Mr. McDowell. Let me hear Ms. Withers. Ms. Withers, I need to see you and hear you, please.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
All right. Let's see. All right. So Ms. Withers, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. So Ms. Withers, abandonment cases are kind of unique in the sense that we're criminalizing a parent's failure to care for their minor child. So usually what is not a part of it is a no contact provision, because we're usually begging them to have contact with their child to provide the intangible support, not money, but things like emotional support and, the love and care that a parent is supposed to have for their child. Tell me your views on this situation. And I know the dynamics are kind of extreme in the sense that your sister is serving time, and then now Mr. McDowell has indicated that he has issues that make him unable to care for a 13-year-old son. Is it?
He's 12. He'll be 13 in October.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So tell me what's going on, Ms. Withers.
Yes, ma'am. Well, good afternoon, and thank you for Your Honor for allowing me to speak on behalf of myself and my nephew. And since Josiah may not be allowed to speak, although I have him in the other room in case he needs to, I will gladly speak up for him. Your Honor, I have taken care of Josiah since the day he was born. I was at the hospital, picked out his name. I've been caring for him for all of his life, whether that was providing necessities for him that his parents could not give him or being there for guidance and support. I've helped with schoolwork, went to all his graduations, been there for birthdays, holidays, while they were in and out of jail or absent, and kept him for several years without receiving any financial support or emotional support from his parents. And to be clear, Josiah was physically under Devin McDowell's custody, at least for the last 2 years or so. But I would get Josiah every other weekend, all of his school breaks, and for the entire summer. And during all of that time, Devin McDowell barely reached out to speak to him nor check up on him. I went to his graduation for 5th grade, and although Devin McDowell lived within 10 minutes walking distance, he didn't show up. He refused to show up. After moving in with me, this most recent time, Josiah has informed me of several negative occurrences, one being that he was mentally abused or bullied almost daily by Devin McDowell, and he was also physically abused. And Josiah has told me of an incident that his father, the person that's supposed to take care of him and provide a safe space, he put a pillow over his head in attempts to get rid of my nephew. And because I believe that Josiah was simply too much of a burden for him to have around, I say those accusations are allegedly simply because we're in court. But I didn't see it with my own eyes, but I don't believe my nephew would lie about something like that. My nephew also informed me that Devin McDowell has told him several times that it would be better for his family with his current girlfriend, who also abused him, and her 2 kids if Josiah was not around. So I wasn't surprised when the police contacted me several times one day to inform me that Josiah was in an unsafe environment. It was a flooded basement. He was left alone several times to the point where even the other people living in that house threatened to call the police on David McDowell for leaving him alone down there, and I needed to get him. This is what the police told me. And I say that I'm not surprised because Devin had been trying over a year to convince me to take Josiah and just put him on child support so that he wouldn't have to deal with him. And Josiah has lived with other people, including strangers in the neighborhood, that he paid to stay with them.
I have this thought theory, and it's just my theory, that one of the most important things for a developing child, especially in the adolescent age range, is stability. And it seems that this young man has had a very serious lack of stability. How is he doing in school? How is he doing from your standpoint emotionally?
In school, Josiah's always excelled in school. He's always been on the honor roll and everything. As far as emotionally, I don't think he's doing that well. He doesn't really, even when he told me about the incident, it was so, he said it in such a calm manner, like it was shocking to me. I'm sorry?
Disconnected, because a lot of times what happens is when people experience any form of trauma, then they have what's called disassociation, where they will recount it calmly to someone else because they're pulling away from it emotionally.
Yeah, it was just sad for me to hear it, So,
are you seeking any kind of legal relationship with with the young man beyond just having him in your care? Are you seeking a legal relationship with him?
Well, I'm going to court. I'm currently in court for the guardian ad litem, and I believe they're going to, I guess, determine if Josiah is going to live with me permanently with that guardianship. As far as anything else, when Josiah was given to me, he offered and signed a power of attorney stating that he would pay $150 every 2 weeks for Josiah. His girlfriend sent me $100, I'm assuming on his behalf one time, and then he was forced by the Honorable Judge Wright Hill to give me approximately $500 in July. He didn't show up for the next appearance to avoid paying the remaining amount. And I've had Josiah for over 6 months so far, and I've not received any support outside of that for him. And Judge Wright Hill also asked that he call Josiah directly, but he only called him like 3 times around the end of June and never heard from him again. And he was out during that time period. So
there's a pending case in juvenile court?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So anything else, Mr. Taylor? Any questions that you have for Ms. Withers?
I'm just a little confused why she's trying to keep Mr. McDowell out of his son's life, and yet she's claiming that he's abandoning his son. It looks like from
the two things they can happen at the same time. One, because based on her testimony, there seems to be a lack of stability.
Absolutely, we do not deny that there's a lack of stability, and that's why Mr. McDowell turned over custody of his son to his aunt.
But his son has also recounted some disturbing allegations that would constitute either neglect or abuse if proven. And so maybe that's why she's asking that he not have contact.
Well, certainly. However, those are allegations. This is the first I'm hearing of these allegations. And they've...
Well, you expected Mr. McDowell to tell you?
Well, I don't exactly trust Ms. Withers to tell me accurately either.
Well, of the two of them, I think that Ms. Withers is the one who's showing up. And I hate to say it, but of the two of them, Mr. McDowell trusted her enough to take care of his child. Because as you indicated, he willingly gave her the temporary, in whatever sense, custody of his child and trusted her to care for this child. And so...
That's correct, Your Honor. I would suggest to the court that if the court's concerned about the young man's emotional well-being and growth, that his father remain in his life in some fashion. And
well, Mr. Taylor,
even if it's under the
having done this long enough and having done exclusively, having done abandonment as part of my jurisdiction as a magistrate court judge, I can tell you that sometimes a parent's presence is more disturbing to a child than their absence. And in that sense, if it's going to be a situation where it's a back and forth, a pulling, of pushing, statements or actions that make the child feel insecure or unwanted, then it is what the court deems is in the child's best interest that matters. And so in this case, because I'm not that deeply ingrained in the facts of this case, but from what I'm hearing, I don't think it's unreasonable to let the juvenile court make a determination about Mr. McDowell's role in this situation from the standpoint of the abandonment. It doesn't appear that he's been there. He may have turned this child over willingly, but he's entering a guilty plea. Ms. Withers has testified that he was made to pay $500 by Judge Wright Hill, that his girlfriend paid another $100, that, the police contacted her to come get this child out of a situation. And so I just would rather have the juvenile court make a more permanent decision, but with respect to what's being requested by me now, until the juvenile court makes a different decision, I'm fine with the no contact provision.
Your Honor, my concern is that your no contact provision with the sentence today will be used against Mr. McDowell at the juvenile courts. The reference, well, if a state court judge found it appropriate to assign Mr. McDowell no contact provision in an abandonment sentence, then who are we as the juvenile court to say that is an incorrect decision? We want be consistent with the state court and would continue to impose such sentence rather than make it an independent determination. I just feel that Mr. McDowell supervised visits, I think would be acceptable. Supervision by
No,
Withers.
I'm not putting that burden on Ms. Withers, because that's a burden that comes with that there's some issues with supervised visits. Because then I got to figure out who's going to supervise them, and if it's some third party, that costs money, and he already is not paying, so I'm not going to impose that burden. This is what I will say. Does the young man have a phone, Ms. Withers?
Yes, ma'am. He has a phone. I gave Devin McDowell his direct phone number. That's why, as I stated previously, Judge Wright Hill told him that he should call him. He called him a total of 3 times and hasn't heard, Josiah hasn't heard from him in months.
All right, so this is what I will direct. Mr. McDowell, you can text the young man, which will leave a record. That is the contact that you are allowed to have with him, text messages only. And so these messages will be reviewable by the juvenile court, and the amount of messages, when those messages come in, whether they're positive or negative, those are all things that the juvenile court can review. Mr. Taylor's concern is that the juvenile court may just rubber stamp my decision. I know those judges, and they ain't scared of me. They have their own jurisdiction. And so I'm clear in my mind that they're not going to rubber stamp. But I will clearly, I will make it clear in this sentence that I will accept your plea of guilty. You're sentenced to 12 months to serve 48 days. The balance will be suspended as long as the only contact that you have with Josiah McDowell is by text message to the phone that he currently has and the number that you were previously given. Those text messages will be reviewable by the juvenile court, and the juvenile court can make whatever determination it feels appropriate for the continuation of any contact that they may order with the minor child. With respect to Ms. Withers, the only contact that you will have with Ms. Withers is to send money orders. So they can be Postal Service money orders or Western Union money orders, or wherever people get money orders that are reliable. The only contact that you're to have with her is to send money orders in the amount of $150 every 2 weeks. If failure to send those money orders will put you in jeopardy of coming back before this court for failure to complete a suspended sentence. And sir, your sentence will be suspended and pending until such time as this child reaches the age of majority. The child is not yet 13. So that's a good 5 years that you and I are going to be talking about your care and concern for your minor child. Ms. McDowell, let me just tell you something. Kids don't ask to come here. Condoms are cheaper than child support or child care. And so when you bring a child into this world, you make the decision that you're going to work as hard as you possibly can. If I got to have 3 jobs, if I got to walk around clearing out people's garages and doing yard work, if I got to work 3 jobs at a time to care for the child that I brought into this world, then that's what I will do. But you can't rely on your girlfriend to pay for your child support. Your girlfriend has her own children, and she didn't lay down with the mother of this child and have a child. And so that is your responsibility. And so stay out of an orange jumpsuit, work as hard as you can get, even if you got to work 3 jobs to make sure that you pay for this child, and show him what a man looks like, Mr. McDowell, somebody who cares for the people that they bring into this world. You can't just give Ms. Withers your child and say, well, I can't take care of him. I'm going to give him over to you. Because you know what that says is that you're irresponsible. When you bring a child into this world, your commitment is to that child as long as you are in this world. And so when a custodial parent, which Ms. Withers is now the custodian of your child, she doesn't have the ability to say, well, I don't have it. I can't provide it. Because then that would leave your child in the system. And you would have a fit if Miss Withers was like, well, I'm just going to kick him out on the street because I can't feed him today. But that's essentially what you're doing. You're not feeding your child. You don't know if he's eating every day. You don't know if he's going to school. You're not sitting down doing homework with him. When he gets sick, you're not up making sure he gets to a doctor. You are not doing any of those things that a father would do. You're not showing me father. And so when Mr. Taylor says, well, Judge, I don't think you should interrupt the relationship between a father and a son, you don't have one. Instead of buckling down.
Damn, mute again. See, that's where I think she needs a better microphone, because if she had a microphone, she could just drop it right then.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. That's the worst thing a father wants to hear is someone tell him, he doesn't have a relationship with his kid. Now, of course, he's going to think she just don't understand. She just don't know, but she knows too well.
Must really suck to hear that. Like, that would sting, Sad, really. It's just sad. It's a sad case. Neglect, abuse, it's such a sad thing, right?
Absolutely. Derval, she's good at really telling people. And the problem is she keeps telling people the same thing in the same area, and it don't seem like anybody listens there. I'd love to see the numbers. One of Judge Fleischer's colleagues, she posts the numbers, on how they're doing it on the cases, and that to me is really interesting to see. How many cases are solved, how many ones are peacefully done, versus how many have to go to trial, and how many cases are still pending. I'd love to see Judge Hayward's numbers.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see the differences as well between courts, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And compare the big ones and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And it said some fathers need to hear it. Absolutely, they do. Absolutely, they need to hear that message. They're out there ruining their kids. But then there's the other argument of the fathers not being there. They're in prison and out doing stupid stuff, making stuff at Dollar General more expensive. Hey, did you get to go to a Dollar General when you were here?
No. It's one of the things I didn't do.
Okay, so it's Saturday. Can you get on a plane tomorrow morning? You've got to go to one.
Yeah, sure. I'll be on it.
I'm assuming y'all have little corner stores, right?
I mean, yeah, not so much though. We don't have as many. We used to have a Euro store, so like a dollar store, but European, right? But those all closed down, so I don't know if they're still around, to be honest. Not in my city, but I think in the bigger cities you might find some.
Yeah. See, we try to prevent grass from growing, and so every time there's a piece of land, we just build a Dollar General.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, we build everything, full as well, but no Dollar Generals. Unfortunately, I would love to see one.
No, and just to give y'all a heads up, as far as that contest that Court Vibes has going, Kathy is so far the closest to winning that shirt. And so,
I mean, come on, man.
Kathy,
I'm gonna win the shirt.
Kathy has thrown two of them out there that's worth it. So, but let's jump back into this one.
And doing whatever it took to take care of this child. Well, Miss Withers, I mean, you might as well take him. Thank you for that, though, because at least he's got a shot at growing up to be a child who is not mentally messed up. But get yourself together, sir. Get yourself together. Prove that you deserve to have him in your life. Because he sounds like a remarkable young man with all the instability that y'all have. He's still a great student. He's still focused on getting the job done. Way more focused than you are. We clear? Have I made myself clear?
I'm clear on you, Your Honor, but loud statement, you can let me talk. She's a liar.
Sir, the fact that you gave your son to her to take care of tells me that you probably need 2 more jobs than you got. We clear? All right, so do what you said you were gonna do and send that $150 every 2 weeks.
It ain't no problem. That's all she wanted anyway. She getting child support.
Well, you can talk jiggy with it if you want to, but you ain't showing me nothing. Show me. Show me that you the man you supposed to be. Show me that you the father you supposed to be. You can say anything. Most people do. But you the one in an orange jumpsuit, sir, and she's taking care of your child. And until you can express to the juvenile court at least that you can take care of your child, you ain't doing nothing but talking. Talking loud and saying nothing. James Brown, check him out. All right, you can go back to the sheriff's office.
See there, another drop your mic moment.
Yep. Yeah, she has them. She really has some nice zingers. I just think she needs more of the judge we saw, the blonde judge. I forgot her name. The one we
Judge
saw
Hagen,
before.
Judge Hagen, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit less talking over, keep repeating the same thing, basically. Just a little bit more directness, maybe. But yeah, I think she does a great job overall.
So I'll contact Judge Hayward on Monday and saying, hey, some foreigner wants to tell you how to be a judge.
No, please don't. I will feel so guilty forever.
No, we're gonna go to Judge Shackelford, and that's gonna wind us out today. So Judge Shackelford in Michigan.
The allegation you failed to appear for drug testing on November 16th and November 18th. How do you plead?
Guilty.
To the allegation you failed to submit to a PBT on November 16th. How do you plead?
Guilty.
To the allegation you failed to appear for group therapy at the Guidance Center the week of 11/11. How do you plead?
Guilty.
And the allegation you failed to test as directed on 11/19. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Matt, can you scoot over? Yes. All right. I just want to be able to see you, Dad, while we talk about this. All right, I'm going to accept the pleas as knowing and voluntarily given. It's my understanding, Kyle, that you had previously denied all of these allegations. You had a really colorful story about how you went to the group meeting on Saturday and how you had, I mean, the lengths you would go to be dishonest are really they're pretty extreme. Making fake logs to show your dad so he doesn't think you have to test on a day. And I mean, it's just very extreme. What's going on?
I've always sort of had an issue with being dishonest. And when I get into that fight or flight, I guess that's the first thing that I tend to run to.
Yeah, but you're bad at it.
I'm terrible at it.
I mean, you're not. You trick him for a little while. Mr. Keys is no dummy.
No.
Right? And I think your dad loves you. And I know your dad's been through a lot with you. And he wants to see the best in you. So he believes it. But Matt's going to figure it out. And then you're going to get called out again. And you're just making it worse. How many days did you drink?
Just that one night. Friday night, Saturday, early Saturday morning, just that one day.
Where'd you do it?
No.
Would you stop on your way home from work?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
I got a pint.
Of?
Vodka.
And then you went home. Did you go in your room? Where was your mom and your dad?
They're in bed.
So you go in your room, you just drink this pint of vodka straight?
Basically.
What time at night did you go into the store?
It was probably like 11:45-ish.
What are some things you could have done?
Could have talked to my father, who was awake probably during that time.
Did
they really? Called Patrick.
He would have answered.
Could have called Jermaine.
He would have answered. They'd have answered your call at 11:45. I know Patrick would have.
And I have other people that I could have called too.
You've been going to these meetings. You've been making some relationships. It's like the level of self-sabotage here today between you and Dewan. It's like I'm just completely flabbergasted with it. I can't even yell at you. I'm just so utterly progress. And now you have to start all over again. Do you even want this? Do you want this?
Yeah.
Because we've got 3 inpatients, right?
2.
In your life?
Oh, yeah.
3.
Yeah.
3, but 2 in the last year. I mean, like, we can stay on you. Your dad can stay on you. You have like one of the best parents I've ever seen in my life.
I agree.
And they don't deserve this, and you're killing them. But, I mean, Kyle, I just don't know what to do. I mean, I can give you this sanction, but like, you know, I was worried because you got out of IOP. You were getting the tether off. You were getting promoted at FACE. Like your mom came in. And they were so proud. Everyone was so proud. And I was so worried. And we had discussions about this, about like, is this too much at once? Should we keep the tether on for a little longer? But it's like you had earned it. You had earned the right to like have it off. But we were wrong. And it's like, I can't have Matt call your dad every day to find out if you're lying.
I understand that.
I mean, like, we shouldn't have to. I mean, we had a meeting, and when we find out about this, I said, you call dad? And it's like, oh, because we know the answer will be abundantly clear because he gets one story and we get another. All we do is call dad. You're doing 2 days in jail. Matt's agreed to allow you to turn yourself in Sunday at what?
8 o'clock.
AM?
Yes.
Tuesday AM? Tuesday? Sunday, Monday night?
So he has an appointment with Josh at 4 o'clock on Monday, which I think would be probably beneficial for him to be able to attend. If you're in agreement to allowing him getting out early on Monday at 2, 3 o'clock in order to attend that.
Okay. If the scram getting back on, you're keeping it on. Don't ask for it off. It's part of you now.
Understand.
You're going to submit an essay about the importance of honesty and recovery. You're going to 7 meetings a week. You're going to every day you're going to a meeting.
Okay.
And you're going to at least 2 of them. How many meetings a week do you go to with Patrick?
Just 1 right now.
Oh, you're gonna have to call Patrick and find a second one.
Yeah, okay.
Is he still your sponsor?
Yeah.
2 per week with Patrick.
Because I think it's important to know, and I told Mr. Clark this, that the sanction relative jail is primarily related to the dishonesty and certainly not the use, because the use we work towards figuring out why and how to make it better. But that the jail has to do with the dishonesty.
It does.
I think he understands that.
And I mean, just the extent of the dishonesty. I mean, like, I don't even know how you created those fake screenshots for your dad. I mean, like that, the amount of effort, if you put, Kyle, if you put the amount of effort into your recovery, the way you do to lie, when it comes time to lie, like, you'd be doing great. Because I don't even know how you did that. And if you would say, you know what, when you think about stopping at the liquor store, knowing how much damage it's going to do to your recovery, to your family, to you, you know, you're starting to look so much better and healthier. You know, you're working again, like you have all of these things going right. And it's on you. I mean, and you have to, you got to own some of this. And Mr. Franco's right, like the goal is recovery, right? But like, we can't want this for you more than you. You have to do the work. And you have to make, there are times when you have to make decisions. And before you go to the liquor store, you at least deserve, or you deserve it. The people that you love deserve it. You should at least call Patrick, call your sponsor, and see if he can talk you out of it. And I know the reason you're not calling him is because you don't want to be talked out of it, right? I mean, you knew there were choices, but you got to do it.
I think part of it was shame too.
I know, but everybody has urges in the program. And if you would have just called Patrick, he might have been able to talk you out of it. Or at least made you think a little longer. And maybe you'd have said, I'm just gonna drive home. And if you would have called him or anyone and said, I'm sitting in the parking lot of a liquor store and thinking about going in. You have all of these people that would have cheered you on and like made you remind you that you could do this, but you have to make the contact.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can just tell there she's just discouraged at him. She's just tired of him.
Yep.
But I like how she knows the local players. She knows the people with the AA, and she knows his parents, and it still has that small town feel.
Yeah, it's nice. It feels more involved, right?
Yeah, because I never want the judge to know my family. I never want the judge to know me by name and know my people.
Well, considering my family, I definitely wouldn't want that. No. Nope.
All right.
Would not be beneficial.
All right. So Brecken's interview went public last night, and it's starting to get some views. People are starting to reach out and just talk about how they enjoyed, hearing about. Trying to think how she wanted me to word it. Not crazy. Someone with mental issues and challenges. Yeah. She taught me a lot about it. She took away some of the stigma to it, and I think it was good. I'd seen you had commented on it, so I'm assuming you saw at least a second or two of it.
Yes. I've seen most of it. I don't think I've seen the whole thing because I got interrupted, but I'm still gonna finish it. So
yeah, it's a lot sometimes to watch longer videos. There's sometimes like even like Kathy's stuff. I can be really in the middle of a trial, really enjoying it, but life gets in the way, and sometimes it's hard to go back and catch it. But it's always worth it.
Sometimes I just forget, right? I forget I was already like watching it, or I stopped at a certain part.
Yeah.
But I like having it on in the background too. Like if I'm doing something, just watching it in the background, then you kind of forget you were watching it. So yeah, sometimes you forget, but it's still on the list, So I'm definitely gonna finish this because it's nice to hear about mental health issues. It doesn't get talked about enough.
It doesn't, and just like with this case here, the guy's talking about sitting out in the parking lot. You could have called somebody and told them you're thinking about drinking. My thoughts are, or you could just go home and stop sitting in parking lots crying that you're going to go drink. And so for someone who doesn't suffer from it, it's easy to say, just knock it off. It's easy to say, I don't even worry about it. But there's a whole different perspective out there, and that's I'm enjoying the conversation of having that. Speaking of that, we'll put in a shameless plug for tonight. Court Addict with ATX Alley, American Courts 2. We're going to do that 8:00. We are done for here.
There.
Yep, we are done for here. You promised me an hour. I got an hour and a half out of you.
There you go.
All right. We'll see everybody tonight at 8 p.m. Thank you guys so much.
See you guys there. Thanks for coming out. Thank you.